Okay, Chapter 6, Ratios and Unit Rate. A ratio is to compare two numbers. So, for example, in the United States, 10 out of every 15 people are eligible. So eligible means that you can, and registered to vote. So that you are able to vote and you signed up to vote. The numbers 10 and 15 form a ratio. You could compare 10 and 15. So there are three ways to write ratios. If you're comparing the numbers 10 and 15, you can write it like this: 10 colon 15. You can write it as 10 to 15. And you can also write it as 10 out of 15 as a fraction. Those are the three different ways. So I'm going to go through and reduce them. We're going to reduce just like we would reduce a fraction. So I can reduce 10 fifteenths, divide them both by 5, and get 2 comma 3. This can be reduced to 2 to 3. And this then is 2 divided by 3. So those are the three ways to write ratios. Next example. The table to the right shows how many students do or do not have jobs in high school. Write each specified ratio. Be sure to write your answer in simplest form. So simplest form is reducing, just like we did up here. So letter A, students who have a job to students who don't have a job. So let's look on our table over here and find the students who have a job. So this one is have a job. Which ones have a job? Right here. So it's 40. To students who don't have a job. So don't have a job are 60. So I'm going to compare 40 to 60. I could write it like 40 to 60. I could write it as 40 to 60. Or I can write it as 40 divided by 60. So if I'm going to write it in simplest form, I need to reduce these. So I can divide both of these by 20 and get 2 to 3. 2 to 3, or 2 divided by 3. Those are the three different ways. Letter B is compare, write the ratio, students who don't have a job. So again, that's going to be 60. Don't have a job to the total surveyed is 100. So I'm going to write it as 60 to 100. Or I could write it as 60 to 100, or I could write it as 60 divided by 100. And again, I'm going to reduce. So if I divide both of these by 20, I get 3 to 5, 3 to 5, or 3 out of 5, or 3 divided by 5. So that's a ratio compared to two numbers. A ratio compares two different numbers. A rate compares two different units. So when we're talking about units, units could be money, units could be feet, units could be ounces, units can be milliliters, units can be meters, units can be kilometers, units can be a dozen. It's just a measure of a distance, a time, a speed. A unit rate compares a unit and a cost. So here's an example. The table to the right shows prices for different sizes of the same dish detergent. What is the best deal? So in order to figure out, so we're going shopping and for some detergent or soap to wash dishes. So if I can buy a travel size is very tiny, or a regular size, or a family size, or the economy, which is usually a bigger size. So this shows how many ounces are in each one. So a travel size has 6 ounces, and it costs the cheapest. It's 78 cents. The regular size is 12 ounces, and it costs $1.20. The family size is 28 ounces, and it costs $2.24. So to find the unit rate, you always calculate the cost on the top and the unit on the bottom. So the cost is always in terms of money, and the unit can be in ounces, pounds, grams, milligrams. So if I do the travel size, the cost is 78 cents, so I put that on the top, divided by 6. So with my calculator, I do 0.78 divided by 6, and I get 0.13. Now, when you write a unit rate, you always need to have units. So it's going to be dollars, so it's 13 cents per, or you can actually write out the word per, but I use this symbol, per ounce. So a travel size costs 13 cents per ounce. A regular size is going to be, put the money on the top, $1.20 divided by 12, and I calculate that out, and I get 10.10. So it's 10 cents per ounce. A family size, you're going to write $2.24 divided by 28. So when you do 2.24 divided by 28, you get $0.08 per ounce. And the economy size is you write $3.60 and you divide it by 40 because there's 40 ounces in the economy side. Use your calculator. 3.6 divided by 40 is 9 cents. So it's $0.09 per ounce. So when you're doing unit rates, make sure that you always have the unit that you're talking about. You always put the money on the top. You can either write out the per part right here, or you can do the symbol.